Hey guys, how are you? It's Dr. Daniel Davis, physical therapist from the Traveling Physical Therapist. I'm here today supporting the Senior Umbrella Network, the Suffolk Division, and I'm here with a very super special guest. I have Katrina Zendrian with me, and she's from Care Connection Home Care. Katrina, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate us. We really appreciate you being here with us. And so I wanted to have everyone kind of know who you are. But first off, you've been here before, right? You've been part of the Senior Umbrella Network. Even though you're a new member, you're not really a new member. Tell me about it. You used to be here, correct?
Yes. So this is my second go around at the Sun Table. So I used to work for a different home care agency. However, now I am a social worker with Care Connection Home Care and taking my second crack at it and looking forward to meet as many members as possible.
That's awesome. So I like to always ask the same question when I first meet someone new, and it's a very simple one. But what was something that happened to you today? Now it's a very dreary day. It's raining out. It's yucky out. It's gross. But what happened with you today so far that has made you laugh or smile?
So this morning, a friend of mine sent me a photo, and it was of this random dog that she had seen in her neighborhood, and it was heartwarming because she stopped to feed it and do whatever she was going to do before calling animal control. But she was just excited that she was like, "Hey, so do you want a puppy?" And I was like, "Oh, I would love one, but no, I can't take that dog." But yes, hey, listen, life is full of interesting moments. You never know when they're going to pop up.
That's true. And now are you a dog person, a cat person, or neither?
I am a dog person, definitely a dog person. How about you?
Mm-hmm. Great question. Yeah, thank you. I love dogs. I've never had a dog in my life. Growing up, I grew up in a development where we couldn't have dogs.
Sure.
And then I grew up and I married a person who was like, oh, I don't really like dogs. And I was like, I guess I'll just have to befriend every neighborhood dog. And I have, and it's wonderful.
Wow, perfect.
So tell me a little bit about Care Connection Home Care.
So Care Connection itself has been around since 1998, doing primarily companion work. As of 2011, we are now a licensed home care agency, just helping out with the general in-home need for, regular assistance or just an extra hand or whatever you need in the house to make it work.
And how did you get, Katrina, how did you get involved with Care Connection?
So as a social worker, I was looking for something different career-wise, and so I was jumping back to my roots, so to speak, but just home care in general kind of tugs at the heartstrings. Working with the older adult population also does so, but just something that was different than your corporate 9 to 5 sit at a desk job.
And did you do the corporate 9 to 5 sort of the desk job? Was that like one of the jobs you did in between the two, the home care agency you used to work with and this one?
Yeah.
All right. Are you happy to be out of that out of that world?
I'm slowly transitioning out of that world. So it's been an interesting one, but yes, absolutely. I prefer to be with the older adult population and definitely in the helping professions.
Awesome. What appeals in working with seniors? Like what most appeals to you?
The ability to make a difference. No 2 days are the same for them. I interned a while back at now YAD, but just being able to change somebody's perspective for the day, whether it's just greeting them at the door and knowing that they were just excited to see you, or a dance in the afternoon and an afternoon activity, whatever it is that just you brightened their day by being there, and you just changed whatever they like. They might have been having a crappy morning, that coffee was too hot or they spilt the coffee, or just something happened that morning, but knowing that your presence changed their day absolutely makes it for me.
That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. It's so important. We as a healthcare provider, I'm so focused on lifespan and helping people live longer and healthier. But at the end of the day, the most important thing, in my opinion, and from what you said, I think you would agree, is quality of life, enjoying the time that people have. And I think you absolutely nailed that.
Exactly.
I'm putting words in your mouth. Would you agree with what I said?
No,
Quality of life.
you didn't put words in my mouth. You said it more eloquently than I would have said it. But yes, no, absolutely. Changing improving their quality of life. That simple smile, that handshake, that just holding the door changed somebody's day. And that's impressive.
Fantastic. Now, tell me, what is your role at Care Connection?
So I'm a social worker, but I'm also one of their marketing directors. So just getting out there and getting to know the network itself, but as well as just trying to make sure that everybody who needs care can find us. Because a simple Google search, yes, it does work, but just getting your name out into the neighborhood and making friends is also an effective way to do this.
I mean, I agree with you, Katrina. Before we even started, and our conversation over the phone recently, I told you people I say buy, buy and purchase because we think of like in the world of like merchants and whatnot. But even in services, people buy from people who they know, they like, they trust. And I think it's important for you to be out there. I think it's great that you're putting yourself back out there. And I think that just judging from our conversations, and I'm not letting you go, by the way, because I have to remember you have to share our secret post Thanksgiving breakfast. You'll have to share that in a minute. But, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we'll have to talk about that. But people are going to be attracted to the kind of person that who you are, like, right? So being out there and marketing and networking with people, I think it's wonderful. And I think you'd be very successful with that, whether it's only in the social work and working with the seniors or also working with other people who work in our field. So that's great. Okay. Katrina, tell me, in a normal day, what is like, can you tell me what a normal day for you looks like?
There are no normal days in today's society. However, standard day, obviously you wake up, hopefully, and that's exciting to be able to make it through another day. But the standards, breakfast and all that good stuff, getting ready. But just, it's not the same, whether it's you start with you checking your social media, which I'm not going to lie, I do it in bed before I actually leave the bed. But just in general, you start your day with, hey, so I reached out to so-and-so, maybe I should give them a call. Or, hey, I was talking to Danny the other day. Maybe it's time that I give him a call and we see if, hey, we need to reconnect or just check in. And it doesn't always have to be 100% work related. Obviously, that would always be a plus. But checking in on friends and family right now is also important. I mean, you've got your friends who are struggling. You've got your friends who are amazing people and might be out there as the essential workers, and just checking in on them and making sure they're okay. Or, brightening up their day. Maybe you send a silly TikTok video, which I've been known to do, or you send some kind of inspirational quote that lets them know that they're not alone and you're going to get through it. But just making it through the day is an interesting day, but hey, you got to do it.
I think that's great. My grandfather used to say he spoke Italian as well, and one of as well as English, I say, and I don't speak Italian, but he spoke English and Italian as well. And one of the things he used to always tell me was, he's saying in Italian, he said, "Quando vede il sole da mattina, fa così, hai compiuto un altro giorno." When you see the sun in the morning, you clap your hands, you're another day. I think the first sentence that you said kind of summed that back up, and it was more eloquent, at least, and in English. than what my grandfather.
Same point, exactly. I mean, hey, you made it to another day. Not everybody gets that, unfortunately, right. Especially right now. But in general, to make it through another day, and just, it might be dreary and gross outside, but hey, the sun might still be shining somewhere.
That's right. I like that a lot. Now, you kind of answered this already, but maybe, I don't know if you want to elaborate or if you can elaborate. How do you balance work life and personal life in the sense that, like, everything that's going on, like, you're saying, like, you keep in touch, like, how do you balance, and this is, I think this will be a question I should ask everybody, like, how are we all balancing what we're doing with work, which is, I think, like you're saying, when we wake up in the morning, that's a wonderful thing that we're able to wake up in the morning. It's also a wonderful thing to be able to have a job. Not so many people right now are without a job. So how do you balance work and personal life, especially when you can't see people, or you're limited with how much you could see people? Like, how do you balance everything?
It's a juggling act, just like everybody else would tell you. I would think Zoom and Skype are our new best friends, and this computer in front of me is also my new bestie, because that's how you're connecting these days. But juggling work and life, I mean, at some point you got to shut down that laptop, whether it's because you need to make dinner, because I'm obviously big on eating dinner, but in general, just, there's got to be that challenge, but you have to hit it at some point of, when do I spend time with family and or friends? And maybe it's just, those texts or calls that you make every night or whatever you do. But just to challenge yourself to not just always be 9 to 5, because clearly 9 to 5 isn't always, everybody's work schedule, but to put it down and just put 5-10 minutes to focus on you is important.
You hear that, everyone? Listen to Katrina. She knows what she's talking about. Take 5 or 10 minutes, at least, probably a lot more than that, but take at least 5 to 10 minutes and take care of yourself. Self-care is so important. I think that's wonderful, Katrina. I preach that to the patients that we work with. I preach that to my therapist. And I of course don't take that advice, but I preach it to everyone else. And like,
Okay, I don't normally follow my own advice. However, I do put it out there. I won't blaspheme, but yeah, no, I'm starting to get better with the 5-minute mark of taking me time every night. But yeah, eventually the 10-15 mark, maybe that's the New Year's goal, is to make it up to 15 minutes of just me time a day. But we'll see.
sure. Now, back to Care Connection for a moment. Care Connection, obviously, in the home care world, there's a lot of competition. In Long Island, there's a tremendous, in the Senior and Builder Network, there is, I don't want to say competition when you're talking about in the network, but there's a lot of different people who do similar things. So what makes Care Connection stand out? Like, why would I say, hey, let me call up Katrina? I know this would be a perfect case for her in Care Connection.
I think it's our level of response. I'm not trying to bash any other home care agency, but we're on call 24/7. There's somebody who's going to answer the phone if you call after hours. We're not simply that 9 to 5 agency. Good luck, you're on your own. And the supervision that we provide. So it's not just, hey, a phone call, which is productive, but it's also the nurse is coming by to check on you. We're checking on our staff. We're dropping off supplies that they might need. There's always that opportunity to come find us if you need something, if something's going wrong, or whatever needs to be addressed can be addressed. And I think that's important.
It's wonderful. Excellent. Excellent. If we were stuck on an elevator for a few floors, let's say we were going to a party and we had like 30 seconds to chat, and I was like, oh, hey, Katrina, good to see you back in the senior world. What is it that you do now? Like, tell me about Care Connection. Like, you like give me like a 30-second wrap up, like tie it all up in a bow, and so I can go, that's perfect. Now I know exactly what you do, where you are, what they do. It's more or less the question that you already answered, but you got to make it a lot more concise and just put it out there and see if people would be interested.
All right, let's see what we can do with this 30 seconds. So I would say Care Connection Home Care is your go-to. You are able to, you might not need full strict 24/7 care, but you might be able to get that, companion assistance and just get out to run your errands and work with us that way. You don't necessarily need to be locked into some contract and say, hey, you're stuck with us 9 to 5, Monday through Sunday. The ability to be flexible and not necessarily, tie you down and you must have care every day is something that I think is also important, because not everybody needs help every day. I mean, yes, of course, you could need help every day, and I'm not against that, but, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you might need something, or, Tuesday, Thursday, you just have a doctor's appointment you need to get to. But the flexibility that we provide, I think, helps us stand out and be a little different than the rest.
That's awesome. You know what? It just came to my head. First of all, that was a great answer. It just came to my head. I never asked this before, but this is a great question to ask. I think everyone should be asked this, which is, what would be a bad referral? Meaning, like, who would be like the referral? I call this up and you're like, oh, that's not us. You may want to check out so and so. Like, what would be, assuming that's in your area, right? So like, I'm not saying like someone's in like, oh yeah, I have someone in Montana, and you're like, what? I mean, like, in the area of Long Island that you service, like, what would be like, oh, that's not really what we handle. You probably want to go check out the other. Like, who would you, like, what kind of case would that be?
I don't actually know, to be honest. There's no bad referrals, not because, but maybe it's not for us, meaning that the skill level is something above what we can do. But at the same token, it's making friends and connections along the way. So yeah, I might, somebody might need wound care, and we're not, able to handle that. But knowing who to refer to, just, hey, listen, I might know somebody who needs PT in the home, and it might be, something that you personally can't handle because it's, it requires 2 therapists or something crazy. Obviously, I don't know enough about physical therapy, but there's no such thing as a bad referral. It's making the connection. So yeah, I might have to pass that off to somebody else, but it's not because we didn't try.
Okay. You know what? I put you on the spot. You and I did not discuss these questions beforehand. I put you on the spot. I think that was a wonderful answer. Now everyone else is going to have an advantage because I know I'm going to ask that. Now, before I like to do my lightning round, which I think I did mention this to you before, but before I get to my lightning round, can you please tell everyone this crazy thing that you told me to do for the day after Thanksgiving? I told you I didn't get a chance to do it because we didn't make the main dish that you needed to do this. But can you just please share that awesome thing?
Sure.
that you said?
So I am what I call a closeted foodie. So you'll see all of my Facebook and Instagram posts include a lot of food. So, welcome to the extra 5 pounds you didn't know you needed. But what did I say to you beforehand? So obviously my favorite holiday of the year is Thanksgiving. Just because obviously I love being with family and friends for the day, but I also love the food. So the next day after, I believe in making leftovers fun. It's not just the same dinner 3-4 times over until you're sick of turkey and you just want to throw it out. So I suggested you try stuffing waffles. So taking the leftover stuffing and turning them into, last year I used my pumpkin waffle iron, but this year I went a little standard, and but just making them almost like a little tier of leftovers. So it was the stuffing, then a little bit of the mashed potatoes. We weren't carb conscious at this event, but mashed potatoes, some turkey, some gravy. You might throw a few carrots in there if you want to be, really healthy about it. But just, or even another thing I really like to do with my leftovers, it's called leftover nachos. Literally just take a bag of chips and throw everything on there and throw on some gravy and cheese. Now that is a winning thing for me to make.
Katrina, I think if you start a blog, which you definitely should, and when you do start that blog,
Credit you.
just name it, welcome to the 5 pounds you didn't know that you needed, that you didn't know that you needed to gain. And it should be all these recipes. It's fantastic. It's carbolicious. It's delicious. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try some of these things.
Hey, yeah, you never know. I might be on here again promoting that new blog.
That's right. And when you do it, we'll have you back. So
Perfect.
I like to do this lightning round with people, and I always talk about this book. It's 2,000 questions about me, but it's gonna be 2,000 questions about you. Specifically, only 2 questions, and I'm gonna let you pick. So let's start. This is gonna be the lightning round. That means you just answer as quickly as you can, whatever comes off the top of your head. Try not to think too long on this one.
Okay.
Why don't you pick a number between 0 and 2,000?
Let's go with 4:30.
And why 4:30?
That's my birthday.
Oh, okay. Awesome. And here we go. This is a yes or no question. I'm not. I don't know. We'll see what the answer. We might have to do a third one. Can you use chopsticks when you eat, or have you tried?
No, I cannot. Yes, I have tried and failed. I have to do the good old rubber band trick that like they give kids to do, but even so, I always end up making a mess.
I always say, here's okay. I use chopsticks when I have sushi. I use chopsticks, and I'm not great at it, but I use it. And I keep every day that I do it, I keep thinking like, this is eventually going to be thought of as like cultural appropriation. I know one day people are going to be like, look at this guy using chopsticks. Just use a fork. Just use your hands. I have a feeling that's going to end up happening one day. But if you're using the rubber band, at least you're still trying, which is pretty fantastic.
Attempt, and then I break out the fork afterwards because I give up.
You know what? If you try a little bit each time, that's all that matters, right? That's all that matters.
Very true.
Okay, let's pick another question.
Let's go 11:30 because that's today's date.
Okay. Okay. All right. If there were aliens in the universe, if there were aliens in the universe, what would your message be to them?
To enjoy that 5 pounds they did not know.
I knew it. I was going to say eat waffles, maybe with stuffing.
Exactly. Well, it doesn't have to be stuffing waffles. Lemon blueberry are pretty fancy and swanky enough there. But no, to the aliens, welcome. However, I think you should enjoy that 5 pounds of food or anything that you're going to enjoy while you're here. So why not?
That's awesome. All right, those were 2 short ones. Let's pick one more number.
All right. Let's go with 1,200.
Okay. Any reason?
I was feeling a little Jeopardy-esque right now.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite website?
My favorite website? Well, that would be the Care Connection one. But no, in all honesty, it's Facebook. Because yes, I am a Facebook-aholic. I'm addicted. So just checking Facebook, not necessarily just for the food videos, although they are there, but just checking random updates. Like the other day, I went to check out holiday lights, and somebody might be doing Rice Krispie turkeys or something like that. You never know.
Listen, I feel bad for anyone who's eating Rice Krispie turkeys. By the way, when I made those, because I made the Rice Krispie turkeys, if you didn't realize that, I made the Rice Krispie turkeys and posted it on Facebook. It was a great hit. No one even tried it.
I'm
I ate
fabulous
most
at
of
that.
the candy corn. I ate most of the candy corn, but it was nice to do it. And we took a lot of pictures of it, as you saw on Facebook. I think I posted like 8 photos. My wife is like, so, you posted 8 photos of that turkey and one photo of your family. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you see anything wrong with that? I was like,
No,
no, not today. Not today. I
exactly.
worked hard on that Thanksgiving on that turkey. Very good. I like that Facebook. Right. And I am myself a Facebook addict. I'm also a Reddit addict. I don't know if you ever use Reddit, but that's where I get most of my news and everything like that. So pretty
Perfect.
crazy. I'm with you on that. I try to sometimes, and I'm also first thing in the morning, check it out first before you can get out of bed. Not a good habit for us to have, but what are you gonna do? It's there.
It is.
Okay, so I want to wrap this up. Ladies, first off, Katrina, thank you so much for joining me
For
today.
having me. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Katrina Zendrian, and I said I was going to make sure I said that right. Zendrian. Yeah, thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay.
So proud of you.
Katrina Zendrian from the Care Connection Home Care, careconnectionhomecare.net, specifically if you want to check it out online. And if you want to reach out to her, number is 516-308-4633. Katrina, you have been so fantastic. I feel like you and I we have a caring connection already, pun intended. And I'm really excited to see more fancy recipes that you post on Facebook, and for you to be back mixed into the whole Senior Umbrella Network thing. And I'm excited to be doing this with you. So Katrina, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to working with you and everybody else.
Yay. All right. I will see you at the next Zoom meeting. And for everyone else, thank you very much for watching. I look forward to having you on here next. Bye-bye.